Bob Costas along with Mike Fratello at the Charlotte Coliseum. As some of you may have heard, Marv Albert's mother, Alita, passed away earlier this week. That's why Marv is not working here this weekend. Our condolences to Marv, to his brothers, his wife Benita, his children, the entire Albert family. So we are without one of the greatest basketball announcers of all time, and we'll step in here, try to carry the day, and have a little bit of fun. Mike? The East is in the white. The West uniforms, David Robinson of San Antonio, Magic from the Lakers in red. East leads the series 26-14. Since the East won 5 in a row between 80 and 84, they've alternated victories the last 6 years. The West winning in odd years, the East in even. So based on that pattern, it's the West's turn. Last year, Magic was the MVP in the game played in Miami, despite the fact that his team lost. Karl Malone from Utah's got it, and we're underway. Kevin Johnson and Magic Johnson in the backcourt. Ewing on Robinson. First shot of the game for David Robinson. Ewing made him change it, and Barkley's got it. Here comes Michael on the wing to King. Loves it from there. Followed by Ewing.
Bernard King in that left lane, which is so familiar to so many people who have watched him all these years. What a great season he's having.
Jordan on Magic. Karl Malone, the mailman, ties it at 2. Kevin Johnson on Joe Dumars. Not unaccustomed to the point. Even when Isaiah is healthy, he plays a lot of point for the Pistons. Confusion, and the pass sails over Barkley's head.
That's a pretty familiar matchup, by the way, from about a week ago. Phoenix goes into Detroit and beats the Pistons there, and Dumars played him the entire game.
Johnson at 28 with 14 assists. Misses that one. And the rebound for Ewing. Dumars from 20. Got a shove in the back, no call. Loose ball out of bounds. And Mike Mathis says, stay right here. King averaging 30 points a game for the Bullets. Has it baseline. Off the back iron, nothing but red shirts there. It's Karl Malone for the rebound. Kevin Johnson trying to lead David Robinson too long. Magic comes in. Flip to Mullin. Now David Robinson.
And Magic knows that in these first 5 minutes, he's going to try and do something to get these 24,000 people excited. Put a little bit of a show on for the folks.
After a minute and a half, the West leads at 4-2. Barkley backing in, finding Ewing. He's got both field goals for the East, even up at 4. Sporting News asked the question this week, who's the premier point guard, KJ or Magic? They're both on the floor today. Mullin shooting 53% from the floor for the year for Golden State, misses here. Michael's first shot. King the rebound and puts it in lefty. Malone had it slip through his hands, collision with Barkley, and here's the game's first foul, and it's on Barkley.
And talk about a major collision. Karl Malone running into Charles Barkley. Who gives ground on that one right there? We're talking about two of the bigger fellows in this league. Just a little body block as he tries to dive the lane.
KJ playing in his second All-Star game to Magic, who's in his 11th. Two-man game with Malone. Backs in for the fadeaway, and it won't go. Barkley, baseline. Malone lets him have it, and he hits it. His first bucket. 8-4 East. Magic to the cutting KJ. Now back down low to Robinson. In a crowd, he gets the hook off glass.
It's nice to see all-star players have that type of ball movement. They come in it to be unselfish. They know that the other four guys can get it done on the floor for them. They don't have to be the go-to guy.
Barkley against Malone. Takes it in against him, and Robinson, the league's blocked shot leader, rejects it. Magic to Kevin, back to Magic with the dish down low, and they couldn't complete it. As Malone juggled it, comes out with a smile on his face, and Michael's pass goes astray. Watch that sequence again, Mike.
Well, as Charles comes in, remember, Charles is just about 6'6". Now he's coming in there by the big timber, and there's the league's block shot leader, Robinson, sending it away.
Kevin Johnson on the dribble, wearing number 41. His usual number is 7. Mullin slicing through. There's Robinson. Ewing got a piece of his arm, but there's no call, much to Mr. Robinson's amazement. Michael. Stolen away from Dumars by Robinson as he cut in front. Then Barkley takes it right back, but loses it out of bounds. It's likely that Kevin Johnson is wearing 41 in honor of his teammate Mark West, who sets the screens and does a lot of dirty work down low for the Suns. Didn't make the All-Star team, but Kevin won't say for sure until after the game is over. Then he says he'll reveal his reasons.
Like those running backs that reward their linemen with those gold watches at the end of a great season. He appreciates what Mark West does for him and that team.
Robinson looks for the tying basket. Jordan skies for the rebound. Turnovers here, especially the East squad, appears to be out of sync, which is understandable. They get one quick practice, and away we go.
And keep in mind that Joe Dumars is not going to give you the same type of push acceleration that a Kevin Johnson and Isaiah Thomas would in this type of a game.
Magic. Ewing another board. Michael on the stutter step. He was fouled. Basket would have counted. As Michael comes to the line, we might note that his free throws have dropped, and dropped significantly every year for 5 straight years. Another look at his move.
Yeah, and one of the reasons could be just that fact right there, that he has gone to the basket so often early in his career and has had to pay the price, meaning taking hard fouls against him, putting him down on the floor to stop him from making the layups, that perhaps he shies away a little bit now and starts to take that pull-up jumper.
He's also such a good defensive player that teams have taken to running him through picks and screens. He catches elbows and hips. They beat him up even when he's on the defensive.
Yeah, a big concern when Doug Collins was there that he had to take Michael off the 2-guard, scoring guard a lot of times, and put him on the point guard. There were too many big screens set against him.
East by 4. Robinson. Ewing comes out of there after the turnover by the West. Dumars to Michael. Daylight from 20. Comes up short. King keeps it alive for the East. King from Michael. And Barkley with the follow. Barkley's second basket. He's got 4. Mullin hits for the first time at the other end. Nice change of hands on the drive.
And that's how the West wants to play today. They want to play open court. They say, look, we're too small to match up against them size, power-wise. We just want to run it in an open game.
East 12, West 8. Dumars, Jordan, double clutch, gets the roll.
And that's what the crowd was waiting for. Michael Jordan to show him a little something.
Six and a half to play first quarter. Malone from just about the tip of his range drills it. 4 for Karl Malone, who's averaging 28 points a game and is second in the league behind David Robinson in rebounds. Robinson on Ewing. In and out for Patrick, and another board for Mr. Robinson. Magic all the way. Misses with the left hand. Stolen away from Ewing by Malone. Magic again. Look at this. What's up, 14-12. The East with the lead and the ball. Michael given lots of room. Can't hit it. Barkley in a crowd. Finds Jordan. Great pass from Barkley for the jam.
You think Michael needed a few tickets here for this special weekend?
Over 100, we were told. Magic for 3. He was the MVP of last year's All-Star game. He's been the league MVP, more importantly, 3 of the last 4 years. 5:09 to play in the first. The East has a 16-15 lead, and we're back after this. 41st NBA All-Star game. Bob Costas with Mike Fratello. Here's James Worthy checking in for the West. Alvin Robertson has the ball. He's in the backcourt now with Jordan for the East. The alley-oop intended for Barkley doesn't work, and Worthy has the loose ball. Magic. Clyde Drexler. Drexler wastes no time getting a shot off, but Ewing knocks it away. Barkley, all the way. Not many forwards who can do that. Outquick the big guys, overpower the small guys, bring the dribble the length of the floor the way he can.
He's such an unusual physical specimen. Like I said earlier, he's just about 6'6", yet he overpowers you and beats you off the dribble at the same time.
Worthy can't answer. Ewing's coming up with a basket full of rebounds here in this first half.
One of the things that coaches fear most, a player who can rebound, then take it himself, lead it down the floor, in this particular case, finish it off easily. I'm trying to figure out why nobody stood in front of him and took a charge on that one.
In an all-star game?
In the regular season, forget it.
Ewing's got 6 rebounds already, by the way. East by 3. Jordan had 40 points in the 1988 All-Star game on his home floor in Chicago. Robertson to Parrish, and Parrish juggles it out of bounds. Robert Parrish never made the All-Star team in 4 years with Golden State. He's made it 9 times in 11 seasons with the Celtics. Robertson tried to knock it away. He leads the NBA in steals and holds the single-season record in that category. Duckworth fouled by Jordan coming over.
And that's one of the things that players fear the most about Michael Jordan. When he comes from their blind side, he has such great anticipation. He waits until they start to make their move. He times it almost perfectly and then tries to get it. There he goes from behind. He gets so many blocks and steals that way during the course of the season. Coaches try to bury Jordan away from their post people.
Foul was charged to Parrish, and Duckworth hits the first free throw. Kevin gaining all-star recognition by virtue of Akeem Olajuwon's injury. Backing up David Robinson in the pivot here.
But perhaps the third best center in the Western Conference, behind Akeem and David.
Michael. Left hand, no. Barkley the follow, that won't go either. Worthy for his teammate Magic, who hit a three-pointer a moment ago. Michael deflects it, and Lee Jones sees a foul.
Magic gave Michael a little look like, what's wrong with you? Can't you let me just get an entry pass in here? Those great hands by Michael, so tough, has led the league a number of times in steals during the course of the regular season and once at the end.
Charles Barkley picks up his second, leaves the game, replaced by Kevin McHale. Tom Chambers is also in now. He replaces Karl Malone for the West. Terry Porter of the Trailblazers to Drexler. Worthy pops it. Chambers the rebound, stolen away from him by Dominique. Out of the pack to Alvin Robertson. Off his knee, loose ball, Michael covers up. Snap pass inside to Wilkins, who missed the layup. And Chambers is there. Here comes Drexler, deadly in an open field, and fouled as he took it to the hoop.
And as you look out on the floor right now, you have some interesting combinations. Right here, as you take a look at this quick snap underneath, great look, little fake by Neek, going up. Unfortunately, not finishing. What you have right now for the Eastern squad, due to the lack of point guards, is Michael Jordan running the show right now as their one man. And then on the Western squad, one of the things that Rick Adelman told us, I'd like to get players who play together during the regular season on the floor at the same time. You're talking about 3 Trailblazers out there, just because they know each other and play well together without set plays.
Drexler hits them both. West leads 19-18, exactly 3 minutes to play in the quarter. Parrish, double team. Porter swats it away, keeps it alive, and flips it into Duckworth. Terry Porter out of Wisconsin Stevens Point, not your basketball factory. Drexler out of traffic to Worthy for the jump. Keeping it alive on the board, but it comes out to Alvin Robertson. Michael, no-look pass to McHale. Drexler got a piece of it, and they're letting most everything go. Chambers, behind the back flip, intended, I'm guessing, for Duckworth, but nowhere near him.
I'm not quite sure Chambers is the best at that wraparound pass on the break. From behind, there's the double team. Porter gets a piece, and it's one of the things that Adelman told us. I've got a double team and trap in this all-star game. We're too small against that team.
The officials are letting them play, and the West leads by 1. Wilkins West team against Bob Cousy. Dolph Schayes, their Schayes number 4. and the Eastern squad. Here comes the Cougs out of the pack with the dribble. The MVP of the game was Easy Ed Macaulay, then of the Celtics. He had 20 points, did a good defensive job on Mikan. I called Ed over the weekend at his home in St. Louis, asked him how it felt to be named MVP of the game. He said, Bob, to be honest, I didn't find out until 2 years later. They never thought the game would be a fixture. In fact, some people in the league were against it. They thought the attendance would be low and we'd be embarrassed. As it was, there were about 10,000 there that day. And it was only 2 years later, when they decided it would be an annual affair, that they went back and reviewed the first two games and awarded MVPs. There's Wilkins with his first basket, and Dominique gives the East a 20-19 lead. Porter lets fly from three-point territory and misses. So I asked Ed what the winner's share was. He said no winners and losers share. Everybody got a $25 government bond for participating in the first All-Star game. And what he remembers most was being in the same locker room with Dolph Schayes and Harry Gallatin. He said, I hated Dolph Schayes. Players didn't fraternize together then.
I'm sure these guys are playing for $20 bonds today out here at the same time.
Here's Wilkins. Dominique with no luck on the roll, nor on the follow. Here's Parrish, and finally it goes down for the East.
Keep in mind, Dominique set an all-star game record of 16 field goal attempts in one half back in 1988. He will get those shots up there.
As you know as well as anyone, his former coach. Worthy backing his man down, little modified hook, no good. Parrish has the rebound. And another turnover as it's off Robertson's hands.
One of the things about Wilkins, though, is his great ability to catch the ball in that post area and make something good happen. He likes to take it in the paint. There he is with his reverse move, steps around Worthy's outstretched arm and converts. You get him the ball down low, he's terrific. He gets you the points or gets to the foul line.
Game has been plagued by turnovers and so far low shooting percentages. Chambers, through a crowd of white shirts, comes up empty. Dominique got a piece of it. Robertson had his stride interrupted by a defensive hand stuck in there and missed the shot.
He was using his European three-step move on that one.
Porter switches to the left hand. Ricky Pierce in the ball game now from the Bucks. Wilkins, look out! Oh, he blows the dunk!
He can't believe it.
Look at him at the other end, and Drexler misses his stuff at the other end of the floor. Here's Chambers. Got the layup at least.
You know, that's the dunk that Wilkins has used in the slam dunk competition. 2 times he's won it, where he brings it from down below his waist, hooks it up around, missed this one. As McHale tries for a three.
Porter presses it back the other way. And off Worthy's hands and out of bounds. That's the 13th turnover in the game. 5 for the West, 8 for the East. And perhaps this is why Dominique elected not to defend his slam dunk title. He's a 2-time champion, didn't participate yesterday. D. Brown, the Celtic rookie, won it.
Here it is from another angle. Nick just gets a little bit too far under the rim. Maybe those legs are getting a little bit older right now.
Worthy comes streaking back. Robertson trying to stop him. Nice move. The combined field goal percentage in the first quarter around 33%. Worthy got a piece of the inbound pass. Wilkins trying to beat the buzzer, comes up short, and that'll do it. A sloppy first quarter comes to a close. Among the 24,000 in attendance, look at this. Little Richard. Too bad his favorite player isn't in the game. That would be long, tall Sally of the Detroit Pistons.
Very nice. Very nice.
Dominique can afford to laugh. It's an exhibition game. He shot 1 of 6, including a blown ahead of the field dunk. West shot 35%, 9 of 26. The East was 10 of 31. That's 32%. Jordan 2 of 7. Bernard King 1 of 4. Barkley a good first quarter. 6 points, 6 rebounds. Alvin Robertson to his teammate Ricky Pierce. Throw Jay Humphries in. It's one of the great 3-guard rotations in the league. McHale trying to follow, slapped away, and a foul.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good argument, 3-guard rotations in the NBA, because I think Detroit was the consensus, team that had the 3 guards, utilized them the best. But you think about Milwaukee with Humphries and Robertson, Pierce, Phoenix with Kevin Johnson, Hornacek, and Marley. You probably could talk about Portland now, adding Ainge to that team, and Walter Davis most recently. So there's some pretty good groups of 3s out there.
I missed the free throw.
McHale in his 7th All-Star game. He's made it when he's been starting for the Celtics. He's made it as a 6th man. He's only started 10 games this year. In fact, even when Bird was hurt, they moved him into the starting lineup. Things weren't going so well. They said, look, let's just keep the rhythm the way it has been. And they put him back on the bench and brought him off after the game had begun.
Chris Ford wanted to get him back into the same rotation when they had been so successful. They knew Bird was eventually going to return, so they did a good move by Chris Ford. And McHale went along with the whole thing, which makes it easy.
Chambers cranks it up. It would have been a 3-pointer. Pierce couldn't save it. And it remains West ball. Chambers was the MVP of the 1987 game. Played on what was then his home floor in Seattle. He was with the Supersonics then.
Actually, a last-minute replacement for Steve Johnson, who was injured.
Duckworth, you know, when you first look at him, you wouldn't think he'd have as soft a touch. He's more of a finesse player than his body would lead you to believe.
He's one of those centers that has the ability not only to perform down low, but step back and shoot the ball well facing up.
First minute of the second quarter.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the West really extends their defense and gets after the East right now, because Alvin Robertson is the point guard out there, which is not his most natural position. In fact, Del Harris has said all year that we're not real good when he's at the point spot.
Dominique misses the 3. Magic is the only man to hit from beyond the arc in the game so far. Drexler with a nice dish to Duckworth, who hits it, but it won't count. They get him on the charge as McHale was brave enough to take it. Charles Barkley standing by with Ahmad Rashad. Go ahead, Ahmad.
Charles, now wait a minute. Now this game is starting off awful slow. At what point is it going to heat up?
Well, I think everybody right now is just a little nervous and a little hyper. I think when you first start out, everybody doesn't want to try to be a hot dog. Just want to go out and have fun. It takes a while to get going.
Then all of a sudden people forget about passing once it gets wrong.
Yeah, once they get into a fast break mode, we'll be fine. But we got to work on Dominique. He's not pumping them shoes hard enough.
All right, man. Bob?
All right, Ahmad. Ricky Pierce made the last basket for the East. Chambers missed the reverse on the offensive end for the West. Dominique's pass deflected. Pierce has it, though. Into Robertson for the layup. Pierce got the assist that time. But check his scoring average. Almost 23 a game, which is 12th in the league. Worthy through a crowd, draws the foul. Ricky Pierce is the only man in the top 20 in NBA scoring who is not a starter. He's averaging 23 points a game in about 29 minutes.
Well, the interesting thing is that he has the ability, obviously, to score points almost at the rate of a point a minute, but here he drops off to his teammate. They're so familiar playing with one another.
If you went to a 48-minute projection, and obviously there are different sorts of players, and this wouldn't necessarily hold up, but just out of curiosity, Michael Jordan, the league's scoring leader, and he's been that the last 4 seasons, would hit for about 40 points in 48 minutes. Ricky Pierce, 37.5.
Yeah, not far behind. You know, most any other teams, he would be a starter, but he knows his role with Milwaukee as Neek knocks out a jumper facing up, and he does it so well for them. Bring him off the bench, but he knows he's getting his minutes every night.
Porter for 3. Chambers with the rebound, and Doherty fouled him from behind. Dominique, after that last basket, is just 2 of 8 from the floor. But you got to believe this kind of showcase, he'll heat up eventually. We'll step aside for a minute.
Some basketball in your time, huh?
I certainly did, and it's a wonderful game. I love to play it in my spare time, but now it's time to sit back and watch it.
All right, as you're watching, let me put a little pressure on you. Who is your vote for MVP in this game? Woo!
Well, that's a hard question because all of them are MVPs in their own right, but the hometown favorite would definitely be Michael.
All right, man. Well, enjoy yourself. Good to have you here.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Bob.
I guess Michael is the hometown favorite, especially in the absence of any Hornet players. No Charlotte player has ever made an All-Star team. In fact, no member of the Heat, the Magic, or the Timberwolves has been an All-Star either in these early stages of those franchises' existence. The All-Star game is on the expansion circuit. Miami last year, Charlotte this year, Orlando for sure in '92, and although it hasn't been officially announced, it's likely that Minneapolis will get it the next year. Drexler got free as Pierce went for the steal and left him alone on the baseline.
I'm sure there are still some cities or franchises that would like to see the old rule with his representation from every team in the league during the All-Star game.
Dumars is back in. Chambers gets the steal. He's by 1. Chambers from Porter with a full head of steam, but McHale is there to collect the miss. Dominique. Dumars knocks it down. Dominique's assist total, his field goal percentage, His rebounds have all gone up this year. His scoring average has stayed flat, right around 26, which it is for his career. But in every other facet of the game, he's taken a step up this year.
He certainly has, and he credits that to Bobby Weiss with partly the new system that he brought in, as well as his teammates letting him do a little bit more and accepting him for what he is.
You mentioned the old rule where every team had to be represented. The last year that was in effect was 1973. Of course, then the rosters were 14, now they're 12, and there were only 17 teams then instead of 27. But you had a situation where John Block, the forward from the 76ers, made the team because each club had to be represented, and the 76ers were 9-73 that year. After that, they decided, look, we'll just take the best players.
Well, maybe you're telling me that John Block had a heavy load to carry that year. You can't blame John Block.
Yeah, maybe he was a truly great player surrounded by truly putrid players. Dumars has it go off Pierce's fingertips. Terry Porter pounds it back all the way with a gorgeous move. We're tied at 32, just inside 9 minutes to play. Here's a steal by Worthy.
And the West defense is up. They're aggressive. They're overplaying. They know that they are physically, maybe size-wise, strength-wise overmatched, but they're going to make up for it at the defensive end.
Crowd reacts to Worthy, member of Dean Smith's 1982 NCAA champions and 3 titleists with the Lakers. Another North Carolina product. Doherty picks this one up. Wilkins can't hit it, but he's coming to the foul line.
Anticipation at the defensive end. All right, the defensive player stepping up, forcing the action, leading the break. Porter finishing off with the little scoop move, right-hand layup.
And Porter picked up the foul on Wilkins' drive. Dominique can tie it if he hits them both, which he won't. The crowd isn't in it yet. Michael Jordan hasn't done anything special. No one has truly brought the crowd to its feet. Maybe Magic Johnson will. He's with Steve Jones. Go ahead, Steve.
Magic, the crowd is kind of quiet. What are you guys going to do to get them in the ball game?
You got to pick the pace up on both sides, and you know, it's got to be moving fast. That's where we miss Isaiah, and because he liked to push it, I would push it back. It would be a fast-moving game, and so we got to get the tempo up.
Well, then I guess you better call Isaiah.
I better call him, get him out that cast, and come on out here and join us. Hey, come here right now.
Hey, doesn't Bob owe you a Pepsi?
That's right. He know it. See, the longer it goes, it turns into a case. You know, 2 cases. And I'm going to make him buy it in D.C. where I can get the money from it.
All right, back to you, Bob.
And you know he needs that cash.
Yeah, he's really, because he's a little short-handed right now in the pocket.
Yeah.
You know, he did mention, though, about Isaiah missing, and true to form, Pat Riley mentioned that every season that Pat did coach in 8 of these All-Star games, it seemed like Magic and Isaiah set the tone for the crowd by pushing it back and forth. And the East is missing that point guard that has the quickness to make that happen.
New backcourt for the West as Dumars unleashes a 3. Doherty got the rebound, keeps it alive to Wilkins against 3 defenders, puts it down.
Neek perhaps making the toughest shot over the top of the shot blocker is Hardaway, the guy who supposedly couldn't shoot coming out of college, knocks out a 3.
He played for Don Haskins at Texas El Paso, where he was mostly a take-it-to-the-hole guy. Really has improved his outside shooting. That's his first basket, a 3-pointer. Gives the West a 4-point lead. That one's going to count for Ricky Pierce, plus the foul. There are 3 guards on the floor now for the West. Adelman has Porter, Stockton, and Hardaway out there, along with Malone and Robinson.
Ricky Pierce so strong down low. He just basically overpowers many of his opponents during the course of the season. That's why Del Harris sends him down and posts him up a lot.
Completes the 3-point play. On the insiders portion of the pregame show, Peter Vesey said that Ricky Pierce could be traded any day. He's unhappy with his contract situation, and the Bucks at least are talking about it. Stockton can't hit off the screen.
And this has been something that has been going on now since the end of last season, to talk about Pierce possibly going during the offseason. Then once the season started, he got off to such a great start. It was like, well, we can't send him now, but right before the trade deadline, something could happen with Ricky Pierce. The contract has been a big problem for everyone.
Loose ball foul was on David Robinson, his first.
See, the mismatch is Pierce too big, too strong for Hardaway to guard.
Tries to take advantage of it, but can't this time. Doherty, fouled by Robinson. So David picks up a couple of quick ones. And we go quickly to Steve Jones. Snapper.
All right, Bob Costas, Dr. J is here. He's actually trying to hide. You were a judge last night, now you've grown that beard. What is it, huh? You guys were tough last night.
Yeah, we were tough, but, you know, the dunk competition is something that people shouldn't take lightly. It's the highlight of the evening on NBA Saturday, and, you know, we wanted the winner to be one who was deserving.
Well,
and he was.
Yeah,
D. Brown was pretty strong.
Well, he was. How about the game so far?
It's a very well-played game. You know, there's a lot of balance. The guys are playing team ball, and I think in the second half they're just going to let it all hang out because, you know, it is dedicated to Project Desert Storm, so, you know, these guys got to get their fireworks going and let it hang out. They might be a little tense or a little nervous right now.
All right, let's go back to Bob.
All right, Steve. Pair have played against each other for many years in the ABA. Steve Jones, a 3-time ABA All-Star. And Dr. J, the legend of the league. Doherty slicing through. Stockton picks it up on a bounce. The bullet to Hardaway, but he'll circle back out and wait for the flow to catch up. Now Magic does it, and does he ever?
And Magic right now playing as a small forward with this lineup on the floor. They've got Stockton, they've got Hardaway. They don't need Magic to be the other guard out there, so he moves up front.
The East asked for time, and we asked for a replay of Magic's last move, and here it is.
Magic taking Neek off the dribble, down the lane, finishing it off.
6:23 to play in the first half. West by about. More majesty about his presence with each passing day. I remember him with the wild afro in the heyday of the ABA. Now he looks like the president of a university. The glasses, the beard, perfectly coiffed.
I go back and remember him when he was a player at the University of Massachusetts, and I was Tom Carmody's assistant at Rhode Island, and we had to play against him. He was terrific at UMass.
Leading scorers, Magic and Worthy, a pair of Lakers each with 7 for the West. Dominique has 7 to lead the East. Michael back in and hitting right away. 8 for Michael, who's now the game's high man. Stockton drives by him, misses the layup, but got the foul from behind. A measure there of Stockton's deceptive quickness as we quickly go to Ahmad.
All right, Bob, we are now joined by Carl Banks of the world champion New York Football Giants and another basketball fan off the football field.
I'm a big basketball fan, and these guys are the greatest. It's my first love, but I guess I'm a frustrated basketball player.
All right, but your assessment of the game so far?
I'm enjoying it. They have the league's best out there. I'm a big Reggie Lewis fan, and I'm a little disappointed that he's not here, but other than that, the game is going great.
Now, we have both been to Pro Bowls, but have you ever seen anything like this All-Star weekend?
You can't beat this. You can't beat this. They really put on a show.
All right, enjoy yourself, Carl. All right, Bobby.
Barkley forces one up. Michael tipped it, and I don't think they're going to allow that. Michael got it in mid-flight, and the basket is taken away.
I don't see any problem with getting a little bit of help from your friend. Charles knows it's going in. Michael just wants to make sure, kind of sticks a hand up there to help out.
West by 1. Magic extends it to 4, hitting his second three-pointer of the first half. He's the first man in double figures for either team. He's got 10. Michael, go ahead, they say. Off the back iron, Doherty chases the rebound down. Finds Barkley baseline. 2 tries. Now it's Wilkins. Doherty off balance left hand. They had 4 cracks at it, and the East couldn't come away with a basket. Here's Hardaway. Robinson.
At the last second, Hardaway was going to drop that pass off down low. Michael Jordan took a shot, gambled, shot into that passing lane. Hardaway just, at the last second, lofted it up over the top, laid it out there for Robinson.
Wilkins has it knocked away, but there's a whistle. It's the West by 6, matching the East's biggest lead.
Watch Jordan shoot to the left for the steal. Hardaway over the top. Robinson with the hands. Great catch, finish it off. Watch Jordan go left, anticipating the pass. No way.
David Robinson collects his 3rd foul. I have heard many regular season crowds, in fact even exhibition game crowds in this building, much louder than they have been so far for the All-Star game. And the simple fact is that at any All-Star game, in any sport, many of the tickets go to corporate interests. Some of them are real fans, some of them aren't. Some of them are sitting on their hands. These are the best players in the world. David Robinson misses.
The other thing is there have been so many activities going on this weekend. There might be a few of them that stayed out a little bit late last night. They're one out right now.
Has that ever deterred you?
I try to always be ready for my assignments, Mr. Costas.
4.5 minutes to play until halftime. Magic. More majesty about his presence with each passing day. I remember him with the wild afro in the heyday of the ABA. Now he looks like the president of a university. The glasses, the beard, perfectly coiffed.
I go back and remember him when he was a player at the University of Massachusetts, and I was Tom Carmody's assistant at Rhode Island, and we had to play against him. He was terrific at UMass.
Leading scorers, Magic and Worthy, a pair of Lakers each with 7 for the West. Dominique has 7 to lead the East. Michael back in and hitting right away. 8 for Michael, who's now the game's high man. Stockton drives by him, misses the layup, but got the foul from behind. A measure there of Stockton's deceptive quickness as we quickly go to Ahmad.
All right, Bob, we are now joined by Carl Banks of the world champion New York Football Giants and another basketball fan off the football.
I'm a big basketball fan, and these guys are the greatest. It's my first love, but I guess I'm a frustrated basketball player.
All right, but your assessment of the game so far?
I'm enjoying it. They have the league's best out there. I'm a big Reggie Lewis fan, and I'm a little disappointed that he's not here, but other than that, the game is going great.
Now, we have both been to Pro Bowls, but have you ever seen anything like this All-Star weekend?
You can't beat this. You can't beat this. They really put on a show.
All right, enjoy yourself, Carl. All right, Bobby.
Barkley forces one up. Michael tipped it, and I don't think they're going to allow that. Michael got it in mid-flight, and the basket is taken away.
I don't see any problem with getting a little bit of help from your friend. Charles knows it's going in. Michael just wants to make sure, kind of sticks a hand up there to help out.
West by 1. Magic extends it to 4, hitting his second three-pointer of the first half. He's the first man in double figures for either team. He's got 10. Michael, go ahead, they say. Off the back iron, Doherty chases the rebound down. Finds Barkley baseline. 2 tries. Now it's Wilkins. Doherty off balance left hand. They had 4 cracks at it, and the East couldn't come away with a basket. Here's Hardaway. Robinson.
At the last second, Hardaway was going to drop that pass off down low. Michael Jordan took a shot, gambled, shot into that passing lane. Hardaway just, at the last second, lofted it up over the top, laid it out there for Robinson.
Wilkins has it knocked away, but there's a whistle. It's the West by 6, matching the East's biggest lead.
Watch Jordan shoot to the left for the steal. Hardaway over the top. Robinson with the hands. Great catch, finish it off. Watch Jordan go left, anticipating the pass. No way.
David Robinson collects his 3rd foul. I have heard many regular season crowds, in fact even exhibition game crowds in this building, much louder than they have been so far for the All-Star game. And the simple fact is that at any All-Star game, in any sport, many of the tickets go to corporate interests. Some of them are real fans, some of them aren't. Some of them are sitting on their hands. These are the best players in the world. David Robinson misses.
The other thing is there have been so many activities going on this weekend. There might be a few of them that stayed out a little bit late last night. They're one out right now.
Has that ever deterred you?
I try to always be ready for my assignments, Mr. Costas.
4.5 minutes to play until halftime. Magic. He hit 2 of them earlier. Hardaway comes out with a rebound. Magic says one more try, and it is the charm, Robinson.
The Eastern squad right now is just standing around. The Western squad much more aggressive. They got to get themselves up a little bit. The East, well, the West will pull away as Michael tries to make it happen.
Oh, yeah!
It looks so easy with him.
No, it doesn't.
That was one of your best moves, wasn't it, when you were playing?
That does not look easy to any mortal.
I thought he was going to shoot it with his left hand.
Leading the league in scoring at 30.8 in pursuit of his 5th consecutive league scoring championship. Last man to win it prior to Michael was Dominique Wilkins in '86.
He thanked me for all the plays we ran for him in that '88 All-Star game when he scored 40 in that one.
David Robinson picked up that foul, by the way. Mullin at the other end. He still can't find the range. Malone tries to whip it inside. It's batted away. David Robinson leaves the lineup with 4 fouls. The only true center Adelman has behind him is Duckworth, although they could move Chambers into the middle. Mullin baseline. He touched it last after it was deflected away by an East player. Next Sunday on NBC, Patrick Ewing and the Knicks at home at Madison Square Garden in New York against the Pistons. Jordan through a crowd. Doesn't get the roll. Barkley will try. East moves to within 1 at 49-48. Hardaway on the hesitation move, lays it off to Malone for the bucket. King trying to make his move.
A little pick and roll. Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley. Once he gets in the lane, he's so tough. He's just had so many this game roll off the front of the rim. He's getting there, just not finishing off. But Charles, with the stress fracture of the ankle, seems to be working pretty well on the offensive boards.